Listen, let me break it down for you. Not all spots on the beach are created equally. In fact, created is a very important word here because the beach is always in a state of flux. The water and the sand is constantly in motion, and beaches have points where there are a higher frequency of valuable objects such as coins, rings, and jewelry, just waiting to be discovered before they move again. So, what is this video going to do? This video will teach you how to identify patches and collect the treasure. But first, you need to do a little research. Ask yourself, where do people swim? Because that's where it all goes down. Your fingers shrink, your pockets empty. So the wet is where the good stuff usually is. A tide can certainly go in and scoop some of the stuff out of the dry and consolidate it. But for the most part, you are visually detecting in front of, on the sandy part of the beach, where you see a lot of people swimming. I want to repeat what I consider to be the mantra for this video. Not all parts of the beach are equal. Patches form at points where there are strong inflows of water. This has a lot to do with the underwater topography of the beach and where the sand and rocks currently lie. On sandy beaches, these are points that can change frequently. Each time that you go out, you have a hypothesis on where things are from the previous times that you have hunted your beach, but you have to check new places and let your metal detector do its work. So we are going to identify a patch as an area where there is a higher concentration of valuable targets compared to other sections of a beach. And they are formed because of the undercurrents of water and collection points which get pushed out and on the beach. I have noticed that you get a lot more patches late in the beach season, where the stuff that was dropped over the summer starts to get pushed out onto the beach when big storms happen. But how do you find patches? Watch this video.
Alright, we got some beach detecting trivia for you. You see a formation like this, where do you look? Answer is 10 to 15 feet in front of these cliffs. So I'm going to be searching that.
The more that you hunt the beach, the more that it makes sense to you and speaks to you. One of the most common formations is a cut, or we call it in New York a cliff. Hey, Merrill, you should jump off a cliff. Well, sure. I do all the time. And the areas 10 to 15 feet in front are good places to start to look. Patches can happen inside of these cuts.
And those birds clearly don't like me. Bye, birds. Got another quarter.
I'm reading your mind. Do not skip ahead. You need to trust the process.
So I'm following my rules. Here was the quarter that I just got. Spiraled out. And I seem to have another quarter here.
Oh my god, dude, you totally, lost me. What do you mean by, spiraling? And, how did you, get there? Alright, so Merrill arrives at the beach, and he walks this path. He makes V-shapes to see where he finds his first target, whether it's high or low. And he walks from the low tide line, or as far down to the shore as he could get, to the high tide line and back, looking for that first target, because that's what the cool kids do. Now, after he finds that target, he is like a hungry robot looking for information. He knows that the physics of objects will bring like things together. So, like Fibonacci himself, Merrill decides to spiral out. And he does this in hopes that he finds more targets.
That's what it is. Now I'm going to verify, I'm hoping that we have a patch. Let's see if we do. So this one's just a penny, but again, the first two targets are right there. So I'm going to keep looking around here.
So many of you might not have read this in the Manual of Life, but when you find that first target or second target at the beach, You slow down, you look around it.
All right, we got 52 cents, and this is all part of the same patch. And I should say before this, I really did not find much, before this. But this seems to be a point where you get inflows. So there's certain points in a beach where the water kind of rushes in, and that can change from year to year because you have to think the rocks underneath the water, they can move, and sand as well. But this was an inflow point, and I'm going to just keep searching around here. All right, now we got a key, and again, this is all attached to this same patch right here.
In the language of Spanish, a key means here. I found here.
And it seems to be more up and down towards the ocean than left and right across the beach, but that remains to be seen. All we're doing right now is connecting the various points and searching around them, and we'll see how far this expands. All right, spiraled out some more from the same location. See the 5 points over there? Found a quarter. All right, we got our first piece of jewelry of the day. This has diamonds on it, I hope. Although I don't see any sign that it's silver or gold. But I'll have to give it a closer look. We got a eyeglass part. Look at this beauty. Ice. Ice, ice, baby. I should note that this target is connected to all of the other points that we have dug so far. Same patch. We have a green penny, and that's a sign, it's part of the patch. It's a sign that you're getting older stuff that's being pushed in. It doesn't corrode like this if it's in for a year, perhaps longer than that. Alright, so we got a piece of beach metal here. And I made an interesting observation. So right here, if we go across, we have somewhat of a coin line happening, whereas the rest of the parts, they're a little bit further up. So this line right here, the low line, this is where if we walk down the beach, we might be able to expect more stuff at least at a higher frequency.
So a coin line is a patch. It's a very long patch, and it's never a perfect straight line. It's something that goes down the beach. But really, it's almost like a scatter plot if you've ever graphed something in math class. And if you walk down the beach where it has the greatest frequency of the points in the scatter plot, that's where you could really find some good stuff.
All right, got another penny. This was a high point, unlike the low point that I was just telling you about. So I'm going to have to walk down this, down the beach. I did search in front, and there was not as much there. But we will have to see. So we're in front of the patch now, and I have not seen anything. Gonna keep looking.
So sometimes you go with the data and you could say, okay, so this patch I can clearly see a path down the beach and it's connecting. But the reason that I was stubborn with this is because of the weight of valuable objects. Gold is heavy, platinum is heavy, and basically that would be tougher to move. So I found an inflow point. You better believe that I'm checking the spots in front, that are closer to the shoreline, that it will need more tidal force in order to move these objects.
You would think that heavier objects can drop in front, but we're talking about multiple tides here, and that's not always the case. Yeah, so not as much in front. Not anything in front, that is. Let's check immediately in front of this patch. Nothing. Alright, so I've started moving down the beach and away from this. And like I said, if I do the bottom line, I have a feeling there's more. This is a continuation because the targets that I had here were of the highest frequency compared to the higher targets. So I'm going to do my usual grid, which is kind of like V-shapes. I'm going to do narrow V's, pretty close to I shapes, up and down the beach, because I'm in the middle of a patch, and we don't know where we know where it begins, we don't know where it ends.
Wait, whoa, what? What, narrow V-shapes turning into I-shapes? What do you mean? Alright, let me break down some science for you. So, when Merrill is looking for targets, he is following this path. And he does not know where they are, so he has a very loose V-shape. Then he gets into his patch. When he finds his first target, he spirals out, but then the spiral is exhausted. And we saw before that there's a possible coin line that's going down the beach, where there is the greatest frequency. But to fully verify that this patch does not go all the way down the beach or further, we are doing narrow I-shapes. And as soon as we get nothing, let's say there's nothing, I go back to the usual V's. But as long as I'm finding targets, I'm doing very narrow I-shapes. Wow, you're smart.
Alright, same patch, it is Taco Bell time. This is nothing special as a ring, but it's a ring. Which takes us to certain fast food restaurants. Happy about this.
Y'all could go to Disney. I'm going to Taco Bell.
Alright, so I've started my march down the beach now, and, I'm still walking very slowly because I'm in the midst of a patch. Found a fishing weight. Alright, this is a clasp of some sort. Copper, obviously. You can tell with the green. Look, it's What's-Her-Face from Whatchamacallit show. Quarter. Alright, so I am on what I think is either side of this patch. I've pulled maybe about 15 signals here. And I did 2 paces up and down, and I went all the way down to the shoreline, and there's nothing. So this might be the end of the inflow. There also was nothing in front of it. But last thing that you want to do when you have a clear identified patch, and I would say that this is definitely one of them, is you want to walk through it. You know, if you went up and down, you also want to go horizontally. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to see if there's anything else that I missed. And then I'm going to move on to another section of the beach by widening my grid.
Super fast forward. So at this point, I took the information that I had, that the bottom part of the patch was a little bit more of a high frequency line where there were more targets compared to the top, and I was walking down the beach. I could have chosen either direction, but I continued in the opposite direction from where I walked in because I had not found anything before. And I was walking down where I speculated there was a coin line.
Found a bullet. Cool. Another quarter. I've been periodically searching the water area. This is my first low target, meaning close to the shoreline. Alright, I'm down the beach a little bit and trying to find another patch. I got a nickel. We have ring number 2. And this is from following that coin line down the beach, the main coin line. So I think this one's silver. We're going to have to give it a good look when I get home. Awesome. Another quarter product of that main coin line as well. Another ring-like object right on this coin line. Well, not a nice bracelet, but got a bracelet. Well, I do tutorials on how to do this. I have a few YouTube channels.
Metal Detection NYD.
Metal Detecting NYC is my channel. Yeah. And there's really an art to it. Like if you notice, straight down the beach, there's holes that I've dug, and the coins, because of the tides and because of the physics to it, it lines up for you. So this is another example of an object on the coin line. We're making new detectorists here. You did it! Making new friends and detectorists. We got another nickel, same coin line, and I made a friend. So this might be proof of karma. You know, you make friends, people are curious, you help them out a little bit, you let them detect. My very next signal, I just got something that rang up. Look at this, it's in the gold range. 910, that's an exact gold signal, so I have to give this a good look when I get home. In fact, I think I see something in terms of engravings. Awesome. More quarters. Well, we got an unidentified object here. It's not very valuable, I don't think, but let's clean it up. Let's see. Strange. So I've decided to go in front of the patch closer to the water just to see, because it just seemed weird that it ended right there at that line. So I'm not finding much, but I just found a quarter. All right, we got another earring. I believe this one is silver. Another earring. Probably copper. We have a candidate for electrolysis. I think it is La Pieta, religious medallion. But definitely needs some electrolysis. And look at this, it's already flaking off. This is
Plated.
this is not pure.
Say plated.
Gold leaf, if anything, or silver. Wow, oh. Look at the detail on this one. It's very light. I thought I found an old coin. It kind of looks like an old coin. It's like a brass wreath. And you could see it's a cover for something. Maybe a lipstick container. It's old, whatever it is. Nice to find that. Didn't find the watch itself, but this seems to be the back of a watch cover from Bebe. All right, we got a clasp here. I think this is from a chain, and this is a little bit different than the one before. It rang up like gold, whereas the other one rang up like copper. So I have to check very closely for engravings.
And the moral of this story is, like the many great metal detecting channels on YouTube that have inspired me to start posting videos and continue posting videos, good stuff sticks together. So remember that the next time that you go to the beach, and happy hunting.
Alright, so I want to say cheers to everybody watching, and thank you for watching.